Good morning. Can everyone hear me? I think, Emma, you're here. Just wanted to make sure my sound is good. We'll be starting at 6 a.m. I always like to come on early just to make sure everything's in good shape. Aloha, Rob. Aloha. Good morning. Let's grab your coffee or water or whatever you're doing right now and just get ready for the beautiful ride that we're going to take together. Aloha, Leslie. Got another minute and a half and we'll be starting. Let's see. We've got about another minute and we will be starting. Diana, welcome. Oh, Angela's here. Beautiful little prosperity tribe. Ah. 6. Okay. We're getting there. It is exactly 6 o'clock and we are starting. All right, so let's just take a beautiful deep breath together. Let it out slowly. Ground yourself right here and now. Take another deep breath. Let it out slowly. And I recognize right here where we are that there is a power and presence that is always abundant, that is always flowing with ease and grace, and it's moving through this experience today. And we are that presence and that power meeting here and sharing in that consciousness of abundance, of love, of prosperity. So I just am knowing the time is just flowing easily and effortlessly, and that all that is needed right now is right here where we are. So I just let that be as I affirm, and so it is. Okay, so in the Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes tells a little story about 4 people that go to he's trying to make a point about prosperity and prosperity thinking. And he tells a little story about 4 people who go to a practitioner for treatment, for work. And one person is making $15 an hour. The other person is making $20 an hour. The other person is making 25, and the other person is making $50 an hour. And this practitioner does the treatment, and they go out and the treatment is effective in that they're accepting the idea that they'll get a new job, and they do. They both all 4 of them get employed, and they all get employed at the exactly same rate. So his point being that the reason for that is not because the practitioner did something but because they had a consciousness of what their limits. They had a consciousness of their limits, so that when they went out to get their jobs, they demonstrated them at the same level of their consciousness. And that's what we're talking about here. It's all about consciousness. Let's get, and we can never say it too much. We're going to go back to the quote from the first day. Prosperity is a way of living and thinking, and not just about money or things. Poverty is a way of living and thinking, and not just about lack of things. So today is about this idea of affluence. The definition of affluence is having an abundance of wealth, but that's not the affluence we're talking about. We're talking about having a consciousness of affluence. Remember the quote yesterday. I've been broke, but I've never been poor. And we walk around and we have a consciousness of either lack or affluence. And Dr. Butterworth tells us in his book Spiritual Economics, which we're going to be studying on the 23rd of February, starting then, is that when we have a financial problem or a dilemma, that our first thing to do, and I know I'm guilty of this too, is to go out and think we have to do something more. We got to get another job. We got to maybe apply ourselves more in the job that we have. We got to get busier. We got to make our demands known for our employer. And we understand that God helps those who help themselves, and we treat and we move our feet. But what's happening is, well, we're told that treat and move your feet. But I think sometimes when people move their feet and then they treat, and they get stressed out, and you cannot obviously bring anything to yourself if you're stressed out. But what Dr. Butterworth is saying is that you need to do it the opposite way. Raise consciousness before you start doing all these things that you think are going to bring you more money. So, what does that look like? Well, it's what we talked about yesterday. It's about that idea of focusing on the abundance of divine substance, and that we are that divine substance, and to bring ourselves to that reality in any way that we can. We're doing it right now because you're listening to me, you're taking something in, you're meditating, and you're thinking about these things. You might have been not thinking about these things before. You might have been like unconscious about them and just going through your life and just working harder and harder and harder. But now you're taking a breath and you're saying, hey, maybe I'm more than this. Maybe I'm more than just running around trying to make more money. Maybe there's something bigger that I am. And when I start coming from that place, then I'm coming from a place of affluence. I'm coming from a place of a greater consciousness. And then when I go out, I'm attracting more. I'm attracting more. So we need to raise our consciousness before thinking of raising money. So Dr. Butterworth says, it is not for lack of abundance that you are experiencing want, but for lack of the awareness of the ever present reality of divine substance and the faith to shape it into manifest form. And that's what we talked about yesterday, was that idea of having faith in the substance. And, you know, there's nothing really new here. It's just making the commitment to say that we're going to work it. That, like our theme this month at CSL Kaua'i is 100%. That we're going to give our 100%. I'm doing a class with Dr. Joe Dispenza, and right before he goes into the meditation, he always says, "Are you going to give me everything you've got? Are you going to stick with this? Are you gonna go the distance?" And I think that's it. We can't give up just because we don't see something in front of our eyes. We have, and for me, it's peace of mind too, because when I start to trust the divine substance and start to have faith, and to know that when I've done everything I can, there's a part that just has to let go and just know that trust and that faith in that divine substance. And I think that's what that's about. That's what affluence is just living in that divine substance and knowing that I'm always supplied, that when I make a demand on the universe, it meets my demand. and that nothing can stand in the way of my good. So I have a little affirmation before we go into our quiet time. And I'm knowing that all these concepts make sense to you, and that um, the idea that we just have to sink into this amazing divine presence that moves through each of us, and that we cannot have anything if we don't open up to it and to receive it and to allow the power and presence of this beautiful, amazing, infinite intelligence. If we don't allow it to work through us, it wants to give us everything. I'm sounding like it's a separate thing, but it's not. It's who we are. And we've come here totally and completely provided for. And yet we stop it because we think less of ourselves. So let's not think less of ourselves. Let's remember who we are, and let's take that into our meditation together. So let's just sink into this moment with a deep breath. Allow ourselves to just relax and cross our legs and cross our arms. Just be in a receptive mode. We're safe right here, right now. Take another deep breath. Put your hand on your heart. Feel your breath coming from that beautiful divine energy that you are. Realizing that you are supported. You are actually being breathed by spirit, by your spirit that's connected to the one spirit that is the one spirit. And feel yourself just opening up to that and relaxing into it and realizing that it is not for lack of abundance that you're experiencing any kind of want, but for lack of the awareness of the ever-present reality of divine substance and the faith to shape it into manifest form. You are that divine substance. And right now, just turn away from the appearance of lack to the reality of your affluence. Not about the things that you have, but about the things that you are. Just allow yourself for just this moment to sink into the limitless substance and just say to yourself, I establish myself in the limitless substance and I have abundance. I am abundance. These are not just words. This is the truth. For I open up the channels of my connection that is always here to the divine substance of the universe. I receive this consciousness now, and I allow it to permeate my being. Let's take a few moments in silence. And so I just took another deep breath. And I continue to breathe with no effort at all, knowing that I am right here and right now, supported by a limitless universe, pouring through me, as me, caring for me, through me, as me. I raise my consciousness right here and right now to know that every place, everything, every experience starts right here. And I know this as each person listening here. And I know this is true for each person listening here, that we are the affluence right here and right now. We each have that consciousness of affluence because I know right here and right now that that is our true being, our true selves. And right here and right now, I just allow that to permeate this atmosphere in my mind. And know as I do so for myself, everyone else feels it. And I am opening now to even more affluence, more prosperity, more knowing. And because of this, I know that my life unfolds perfectly, that anything I could ever require is already here. And so this is an easy and graceful journey. This is a journey of God walking on this earth as me, as each and every one of us, living and loving and having all the successes that we want and spreading this joy everywhere we go. This is what this is all about. Raising consciousness, and as we raise ours, the planet, the magnetic field is raised at the same time. We do make a difference. And we have this opportunity right now to give and to receive, to give and to receive affluent thinking. So let's just settle into that. And I give gratitude for this opportunity, for the manifestations that come from it, for each and every one of us in our own particular way. And I know that it's good and more good and more good and more good, and that it is easy and graceful. And I am so grateful as I release my word, as I let it be, as we affirm together. And so it is. And so it is. Oh my God. Have a beautiful, amazing day. Just remember how affluent you are and how beautiful you are and how rich you are. Take a deep breath, and anytime something comes up, just say, I am the affluence of the universe right here and right now. Have a beautiful day. I'll see you tomorrow.